NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks will face the Charlotte Hornets this morning. Well, I don't know if it's this morning, but this afternoon, 12 p.m. in about 18 minutes, the Knicks are going to face the Hornets and try to win their 3rd game in a row, their 3rd game at home, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. And if they do so, that'll be a nice little streak for the Knicks, folks. After starting the season 2-4, to come back, win 3 in a row, a win over the Clippers, a win over the Spurs, and then today, hopefully a win over the Charlotte Hornets. That'll be a nice little win streak. A nice way after a little bit of panic from the New York Knicks faithful fans. I'm not even sure if I want to say including myself, but there was definitely some panic from the fans as the Knicks started off 2-4. But for them to come back, if they win today, they'll be 5-4, back over 500. They'll be ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about this game. Before I get to talking about the game, I do want to give a shout out. Hopefully I say your name correctly, to Olasambo. Thank you for the Cash App, for supporting the channel. He said it's long overdue, right? Charge it to my head, not my heart. Hey, you know what? You're here watching the show, Olasambo, so however you support me, I appreciate it. You dig what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get into it, folks. Let's talk about the injury report. And I want to move. Of course, I got to move through it, right? Because the game starts in about 15 minutes. So we got to get to it. For the New York Knicks, no injuries. So I feel gracious to say that the Knicks have no injuries, ladies and gentlemen. For the Charlotte Hornets, they have a few. All right, for the Hornets, you got James Bouknight out with a left knee injury. Of course, Miles Bridges is on league suspension. Gordon Hayward, he's been having right hamstring issues, but he's probable for today. I don't like playing against Gordon Hayward. He always seems to be a Knick killer. From time to time. Cody Martin out, left knee injury. Frank Ntilikina, ladies and gentlemen. And if you know Frank Ntilikina from being a Knick, Frank was frequently out. Most of the time it was for a groin injury. We won't even go into the reasons why. But you know, Frank, he was always out for a groin injury or something like that with the New York Knicks. Now playing for the Charlotte Hornets, he's not playing. And then the big guy that's out for the Charlotte Hornets, Terry Rozier, he's out with a left groin injury, left groin strain. So the Charlotte Hornets are not coming in at full strength. Fly God said, Freaky Frank. Yeah, Freaky Frank. The Charlotte Hornets aren't coming in at full strength, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks are coming in at full strength. So my expectations are that the Knicks perform the same way that they performed against the San Antonio Spurs. I'm expecting the Knicks to win this basketball game. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy because, playing against the Charlotte Hornets always seem to give the Knicks just a little bit of problems. But if the Knicks are who we think they are, then this should be, this should be a good one for them. This should be a win for them. We're going to take a look at the lineups, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks, they have their normal lineup. Obviously, the Charlotte Hornets are injured. For the Knicks, you got Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. And for the Charlotte Hornets, you got Lamelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Gordon Hayward, P.J. Washington, and Mark Williams. A young team, the Hornets are. A young team, trying to find their way. Listen, when they add Miles Bridges, whenever he comes back, I'm not exactly sure when I think Miles Bridges I think he said somewhere around March, possibly. That's a long ways away. When he comes back and he's playing the way that he was playing before he went out, that guy was tough. Fortunately, he's not playing tonight for the Knicks, or today, not tonight. Right? Fortunately, he's not playing. Right, but he makes them a much tougher team. You got Lamelo Ball. We all know what Lamelo Ball is and what he can do. He may not have the horses right now to play the way that we've seen him play, but Lamelo Ball is going to be a threat. There's no doubt about it. Then you got the young guy, Brandon Miller. All right, he's rookie, I believe, this year, right? Brandon Miller. He's 6'7". Quentin Grimes is going to have he's got a little bit of a height advantage over Quentin Grimes. He's giving you 13 points, 4 rebounds, 1.8 assists so far this season. Right? The number 2 pick in last year's draft. So Quentin Grimes got his work cut out for him. If Quentin Grimes is indeed guarding Brandon Miller, Quentin Grimes could be guarding Lamelo Ball. And it could be R.J. Barrett guarding Brandon Miller. We'll talk about some of those matchups. Brandon Miller's giving you shooting 41.9% from the field. He's shooting 26.5% from the three-point line. Right, so I would expect Quentin Grimes to be guarding Lamelo Ball. Right. I don't know what you're going to do with Jalen Brunson. I don't know if he's going to guard Hayward or Brandon Miller. That's a funny one. We'll talk about matchups. We'll get into the matchups. I got to think about it a little bit. All right, let's look at the bench. Then we'll get into some matchups. The bench units. For the Knicks, of course, you got IQ, DiVincenzo, R.J. Barrett, who's a starter but plays with the bench, Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein. And then for the Charlotte Hornets, you got Theo Maledon, you got McGowan. I'm assuming either Ball or Miller is going to play in that open spot. You got J.T. Thor and then Nick Richards at the center spot. Miller can play some small forward ball. Even if he slotted in at the small forward position, he's going to be playing point guard. He's handling the rock for the Charlotte Hornets. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, the Knicks bench, in my opinion, should dominate. The Knicks bench has been playing well. They've really been giving the Knicks a boost. The Knicks benches, they've been giving the Knicks a really big boost so far this season. Right, with the Knicks, I mean, as a matter of fact, I believe the bench won the Knicks the Clippers game. The Knicks bench outplayed the Clippers starters, which may not be saying much because, the Clippers they've lost their last 4. They're 0-3 with James Harden. So I don't know how much that's actually saying, but they did so. They did so. All right, so, I'm expecting the bench to do much of the same today versus the Charlotte Hornets in about 9 minutes. Let's go back to the starting unit. Let's talk about matchups, ladies and gentlemen. It's Julius Randle's probably going to guard P.J. Washington. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson and Mark Williams. I'm not sure if you're going to have R.J. Barrett on Gordon Hayward, R.J. Barrett on Brandon Miller. You'll probably have Quentin Grimes on Lamelo Ball. But now this leaves Jalen Brunson. Where does Jalen Brunson go? Right, because you got some length from those first 3 positions, from your point guard to your small forward. With the Charlotte Hornets, they got some length on the floor, which could cause some problems for the Knicks. Maybe he's going to be on Brandon Miller. He's a younger rookie, not as experienced as a guy like Gordon Hayward. Maybe he doesn't have as much of a post-up game as a guy like Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward could post it up. He can shoot it. He can cut to the basket. He can do multiple things, right? He doesn't do it at the level that he was doing it in the past because injuries and things like that, right? But if you got a smaller guy like Jalen Brunson on him, he's going to be able to score out of the post if they decide to take advantage of it. So there poses a bit of a matchup problem for the Knicks. I don't think it should be, in my opinion, I don't think it should be too serious. I think the Knicks should be able to withstand any matchup problems that the Hornets are having. I mean, right, that the Hornets pose to the Knicks. Right now, the Hornets are 3-5, the Knicks 4-4, though. I don't know why I just said that one. It just popped into my head that I didn't say it earlier. But Lamelo Ball, ladies and gentlemen, he's 6'7". He's giving you 20 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists per game. No doubt in my mind that it's going to be Quentin Grimes guarding Lamelo Ball. All right, he gets all the tough assignments. So another one for Quentin Grimes. All right, and at this point, I've come to the conclusion that anything we get offensively right now from Quentin Grimes is going to be a bonus. So I'm not even going to trip. If he's not doing what we want him to do as far as, getting this bucket and that bucket, I'm not tripping. I just want him to knock down the open threes that he does get. Gordon Hayward is giving you 18.6 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 5.6 assists per game. 33 years old, 6'7", 225. Shooting the ball 40.9% from the three-point line and 47.9% from the field. He's obviously a threat. So maybe you're going to see Jalen Brunson on Brandon Miller. He's not shooting the ball well from 3, Brandon Miller. He's a rookie, so he's learning. Now, as far as the Charlotte Hornets, they may have Brandon Miller guarding Jalen Brunson. Right, he's a guy that can play some defense. He's long. Then I would think Lamelo Ball's probably playing Quentin Grimes. Hayward is going to guard R.J. Barrett, P.J. Washington guarding Julius Randle, and Mark Williams guarding Mitchell Robinson. Knicks 100, the GM said, Washington be giving Randle the business. Yes, he does from time to time. He gives Randle the business. Sometimes he shoots it from the outside, gives Randall some trouble. I think Randall kind of underestimates him a little bit, or just figures out this guy ain't giving, he's not doing nothing. Keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen. We need, much like the San Antonio Spurs, I think the Knicks need another performance from Julius Randle. Let's keep it going. We don't need Randle we need Randle to stay consistent. A repeat performance from Julius Randle. Julius Randle played well, and we expected him to play well against the Spurs, but he played well against the Spurs. We need him to do the same against the Charlotte Hornets, against P.J. Washington. Another game where we get Randle, Brunson, and R.J. going together. Right? Randle, Brunson, and R.J. going together. Against the San Antonio Spurs, Brunson, I guess he played well. He didn't shoot as efficient as we would like him to. But we need to see these three guys consistently playing well together. Right? The more they play well together, the better this team is going to be. And the more we get a chance to see how good they really are. Right? If they're constantly, this guy's playing well, then this guy's not. Two of them are playing well. One of them are, we don't need that. We need these guys to be playing well night in and night out. So hopefully we can get all three of them playing well today versus the Charlotte Hornets. Win the bench matchup. We should dominate the bench matchup. We should dominate it. As far as I'm concerned, their bench, I don't think is that good. Don't underestimate this team. The same thing we talked about with the San Antonio Spurs. My man Rue, Die Hard Knicks podcast, said, the Charlotte Hornets always step up against us. No doubt about it. They always step up against us. They play well against us, and this is the reason why you cannot underestimate this team. Because if we underestimate this team, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end up losing the game, and it'll be a bad loss. It'll be a really bad loss, in my opinion. We can't underestimate them. They play well against us. Right? They play a style of game that notoriously it's not a matchup for us, a good matchup for the Knicks. Play a little faster. Shoot the three. You got a guy in Gordon Hayward who, he can play multiple ways. He can cut back door. He can shoot the three. He can post up a little bit. He normally gives R.J. Barrett some trouble. Right now, Miles Bridges isn't there, so it changes it a little bit, I think. But this team, yes, they give the Knicks some problems. That's why the Knicks can't underestimate them, ladies and gentlemen. Execution. We got to execute offensively and defensively. Execute. Right? Don't sleep. Don't play. Execute. Get the job done. Just get the job done. And we've seen so far this season the Knicks lack execution on both sides of the floor from time to time. This is not the team to do it against. No team is the team to do it against, I guess. Right? But you want to come out here, execute, take care of business, win the game, and then go to Boston tomorrow. That makes this game important. The Knicks play Boston tomorrow in Boston. You want to go to Boston 5-4 on the season with a 3-game win streak behind your back. Shout out to Abdul Rafi. He said, keep up the excellent work. Thank you for the Cash App. Definitely support it. Thank you for supporting me. That's what I meant to say. Predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Predictions. I'm predicting that the Knicks are going to win today. I think they understand that they got to go to Boston tomorrow. I think they understand the task that's at hand. I think they get a win. Win their third straight. Win their third in a row at home. Go to Boston tomorrow and be prepared for a battle. I think that's what happens today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to let you go so we can get to the game. I'll be back on the post-game show. I know I started a little bit late today. Had a busy morning. But I'll be back for the post-game show. I appreciate your time, ladies and gentlemen. If you can support the channel, I would appreciate you supporting the channel. All right, as you know, the channel has been demonetized. So you can hit me on my Cash App, $ nothing but Knicks, or on my PayPal, paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. All right. I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to put that in the chat where you can support the channel on the way out if you see it fit. And I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, on the postgame show. Remember, Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks. PayPal is paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. Enjoy the basketball game, folks. And I will see you later, about 3 o'clock. I'm out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.